Hi, I'm Boris. Lyrics over there listening to Christmas carols.
No, I'm not. Not actually. I'm. It's not December yet. I'm not allowed.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm doing
you were
research.
literally just listening to Christmas carols.
Caroling group, and I'm trying to find them.
Are you
But this
gonna?
is not what the stream is about.
No, well, it is now.
Okay.
Um, are you going to be going from door to door?
No, it's like
Hold
a
on.
street.
Can we go door to door? I don't. Does anyone go door to door here? That'd be weird.
That's probably
Yeah.
definitely just coming to people's houses and heavily breathing on them.
Through their doorway.
Through
Excuse me. There's a cat that. Oh, she's very lumpy. Yep, just a big lump.
Oh.
So I'm gonna write a novel
Yeah.
on stream, and everyone's gonna watch me. That's yeah, and participate. That wasn't an instruction. That was an instruction. Everyone has to watch me.
Okay.
Um, and
And Peach
Peach
is gonna
is
type
gonna
some.
help. She's gonna stick her butt right in the camera, and what am I doing?
You start with the
Microsoft
title
Word.
or leave the title till.
I think the title should be at the end. I think
Okay.
the thing you start with is what font.
Well, can you write like Boris's title or something?
That's a good start. Boris's book. But we say
Okay.
Boris's.
Yeah, but that's not how.
No, that's Boris's. That's Boris book. No, it's Boris book.
That's how.
No, it's optional. You can do either way. That's what I was taught back in grade 1. Well, I can't type with the cat standing on all the keys. Oh no.
Whoa! What have you done? You've already wrecked it.
That was Peach.
Oh.
She was standing on the control and Windows, and then
Okay.
I hit an arrow key. Oh, Blizzard's here. Hi,
Hi,
Blizzard.
Blizzard. Yeah, look at our good book.
Hmm.
Well, Boris is good.
Yeah. Okay. This is too much. Here's a cat. Look at the cat. Got to stay down here. No more clicking buttons. So what do we? Initially, my thought is Comic Sans
Perfect. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Almond would hate it, but I could also do like curls.
Oh no. Oh.
Okay.
That's horrendous.
So this we should make this like
Yeah, that should be big. That should be
in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And I think it shouldn't. It should be like slightly below middle.
No. I didn't mean like in the middle of the page. I meant like.
Oh, like
yeah.
well, this is the front center. Yeah.
Oh, so this is the front page.
Well, no, it's not the cover,
Oh.
but the first page.
Yeah.
We'll do the cover at the end because I have no
We need a
idea what.
title and cover.
Yeah.
Some.
hmm And then should we do it all in Times New Roman and make it look like a book? Small. By me? No. Other people are gonna see it. Blizzard says he's gonna unsubscribe if he sees Comic Sans. So is Armand. Armand will just leave the group. Armand hates Comic Sans more than he hates Diarine.
Is.
Hi, Apple, help me write a book. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Was comics made? Isn't that the
It.
The story.
I have a weird fact about it. It's from um. Oh, now I can't remember
Oh
the
no.
fact. It's something about Microsoft Bob.
Okay.
So there was a for a little while Microsoft was trying to make uh using a computer more intuitive, because this is like the early days of PCs,
Yeah, yeah.
and the way that they did it was by creating like a picture of an office space. So if you wanted to like write a document, you would click on the desk. If you wanted to, you know, it was all like that. Um, and Comic Sans was first introduced in that, I think, or it was made for that, and then they never included it, and then it was later released. I'm butchering this fact,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Should I be on fact duty?
if you Google all of that,
Get
you
rid
will
of
get to
consent
roughly
clause
what I
and
said.
jam.
Okay,
Carry.
Apple wants me to write more now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Apple, what is the book about? Because I've not worked this bit out. Is that what you do before you start writing a book? Is you come up with an idea?
Yeah.
Should it be about Comic Sans?
Well,
Or
you
is
don't
that
seem to know.
excuse me? I know Microsoft Bob.
This website says describes Microsoft Bob as an epic failure.
Yeah, it was. I probably look a little bit. There's a cat down here, just so you know. Looks a little bit weird that I'm just stroking something beneath
So
the camera. Right, what's the fact?
the text in Bob's speech bubbles Times New, but the designer
Vincent Conair.
yeah thought such a serious text for a cartoon was ridiculous. So out to create.
Right. I feel a bit sorry for Comic Sans because there's nothing wrong with it. It's just what it's been used for that has given it the bad name.
They're adapted from the font in Dark Knight.
Okay. The Battle of Jutland. That's go right. There was a back when we played Disco Dodgeball, Robot Roller Derby Disco Dodgeball. Uh, we we often played with a guy called Honda, Dr. Honda. You're not listening. You're
No,
reading.
sorry, I'm reading more facts.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
When we played Disco Dodgeball as a group, often we played with a guy. There was a guy called Honda. He shows up every now and then, but
Yeah.
he used to be involved in the group, and he is one of the weirdest people I've ever met. Like in a good
That's
way.
coming from you.
Yeah. And he spent actually, was it in Disco Dodgeball or in Minecraft? He spent like literally an hour in the middle of a recording. Like he knew that we were recording for YouTube, and he spent an hour, just stopped everyone, and he just told us about the Battle of Jutland the whole time.
Okay.
It was in Minecraft, but we talked about it, and he would just like we'd just be happily playing, and then he'd just start talking about leprosy, and okay, so it's gonna be. It was a dark and stormy night in 1901. Not. It was actually a fine day with lots of sun, and it was not 1901. Gravesham. Add to dictionary. Okay. So we've got to add a. Nope, that's the wrong. I know how to use Word. Got to add like a first line indent for it to look.
What is that blue line telling you?
It wants me to write better, use more concise
Yeah.
language. It was a fine day. No, I like actually
Yeah.
there. It was not 1901. New chapter.
A new chapter? That's a whole chapter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chapter 1. So should the chapter things be Comic Sans? Or will that lose too many immediately? Like,
Common sense.
what should it be? What's something that is almost like Comic Sans, but I mean, not like Comic Sans. I think it should be, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
No, if it's going to be published, it's because this is going to be published.
Yeah.
It can't be in colors. I was going to make it bright green. Should I center it or right align it?
Ooh.
That's fancy.
Dynamic.
Okay, chapter 1. Probably like
Save that.
save it as a yeah. Create a style.
No. Oh, okay.
Chapter. Fancy French chapter.
Yeah.
So did I do all caps? I didn't, did I? No. And then back to normal. Like,
Alright.
oh. Okay.
What a good use of time and resources.
What should the main character's name be? Because I think I'm going to include that.
Or
Boris.
because Boris is a book by Boris Pravisham.
But that's not the title.
No, I know. I don't know. What's a good name?
Name.
For
Joris.
hours for about talking on the phone.
Name. Names are Susan Draper. Do I not get the reference? Don't think I get the reference. Or was that a serious? Was that a serious suggestion?
Just stole a name from.
Oh, okay. Susan Draper, a boring woman.
Oh.
Is she boring? Ask her. Okay, I'm not wrong. She was also a bored woman. She was sick of hearing about talking on the phone. Is that good writing? That's a good sentence, right?
Very short.
Okay, well the next one is going to be so long you won't believe it.
Gotta stick to this style, or
I've got writer's block. End of stream.
Oh,
I
no.
should probably make this bigger so that people can see.
Sick of hearing about talking.
No. I've started a sentence with she twice.
Yeah.
No. I'm trying to say that she was in this meeting where she was in a work learning course about talking on the phone.
Okay.
Telephones had never interested her as a very smart and intellectual individual. Everyone knows telephones are not for smart people. Only dumb people use phones. Is that a good paragraph?
Lied by
Yeah, but I've got to meet my word count. Only a little bit dumb, but mostly smart. No. Oh no. I'm sorry. That was Armand's fault.
Ah.
Talking to him yesterday, and I turned it off so there wasn't an echo. But I don't think it needs a comment. Oh, they hear you.
Hello.
Yeah. See, I want people to know how I'm. I don't want it to be like grammatically correct, like it's a.
Like it's a novel.
Yeah. I want my. I mean, there are novels that are written that are intentionally correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I want them to know how it is in my head.
Okay. Well, we can write it out as it comes out of your head, and then go back and edit it if you want.
Okay. Yeah, we're not going to edit this.
Oh, okay.
There's going to be like 300,000
What did you just
words. Do? I made it justified, so it's.
So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like a book.
Yes.
Should I make this book-sized pages?
No.
I guess you want to be able to print it and give it to all the famous.
Yeah, all the
book
publishers.
Publishers, yeah.
Oh, we can turn it into an audiobook.
Yeah, it'll be an audiobook, and I'm going to record it in like a busy train station. With a not great, like just on my phone. But not a good
Perfect.
microphone. And I guess it's all in third person too. I've just decided.
Yeah, you've got to decide what kind of a like position that you're in.
I think I'm going to be switching back and forward all through it because I'm experimental.
Oh, and past or present or future tense.
Mm-hmm.
All three?
Yep.
Okay.
What are these buttons? Yes, that's what I want. Like that.
Okay.
You had been in this stupid, silly nonsense. Sorry, we need commas.
No, it's coming straight from your brain.
Nope.
Okay. Fine. Then yes, you do need
Nonsense. Party.
Mia's here. Hello. He says he could use the written perspective to differentiate between the perspectives of different characters.
Not quite sure, maybe.
You don't know what that means?
No. No, I'm a genius writer. I won all writing prizes when I was at school.
Oh.
I won best creative writer at the show.
Oh, wow. Year. What grade?
Would have been like later primary, so maybe like year 6 or 7.
That's pretty good.
So when I was like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
I wrote a story about a fly, but no one knew it was about a fly. That was the twist at the end.
That's
it wasn't a fly, it was a mosquito.
Oh.
I remember my stories.
Yeah.
There were mosquitoes out for blood.
Yeah.
That was written as if there were people.
Yeah.
But
that's quite good.
Yeah. There was a twist. But I don't think I did it particularly well, because at one point it was written as if there was a person chasing another person with a rolled up newspaper. So
that's all right.
It wasn't as threatening as it seemed.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mia says, you write about Susan Draper in third person, and you write everything her boss does and says in first person.
Yeah.
She had been in the stupid, silly, nonsense party. Apple is the Remurin party, just for accuracy. A little bit damp. What did he say it was? I want to use the wording that he work learning course about how to talk on the telephone. This was my first thought was balding, but that's not going to work. This was crummy. Crummy's a good word. Got a B in it, but it doesn't make a sound. Who would put a B in a word and then not have it make a sound?
Knife?
No, B.
Oh, I thought you meant just
Oh, a letter.
like any letter. Also, numb?
Because crumby would be a good word. Crumby. Oh.
Crumby.
So Mia says also, if you decide that the reader is a character in the story as well, like say Susan's colleague in accounting, you could even write in the second person perspective as well. Or I could just switch to it without explaining it.
So far, it seems like where this narrator is omniscient, though, so that I don't know exactly how the perspective changing is gonna work, but if it's in first person for someone else, they wouldn't know that.
I think I'm gonna have a narrator.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe I shouldn't,
We can continue.
because I wrote a really long, silly story when I was a kid. There was a lot of most of the story was about the narrator and not the story that the narrator was telling. There were whole sections of the book just dedicated to the narrator ranting about the fact that he hates narrating.
That's silly.
What's the genre we're aiming for?
Yeah.
We'll find out at the end of the book.
Yeah, we just write the book and then decide what genre it is.
Work learning course. About how to talk on the felt. This was from B, because she never used her phone in her work. What's her work? Apple, can you ask Susan Draper what her job is?
I assume her job is similar to his job. If they're in the same course.
I don't know. It could be like a big organization. There's people
True.
from all over.
That's true.
This isn't particularly creative, is it?
No,
are we gonna
we're
need...
just asking Apple.
Yeah.
Question.
What is days? What someone else in this class's day is like? Will we have to pay her royalties when this becomes a hit book?
Maybe we should change her name to Susan Draper. Oh.
Susan is better. I was just going to make it Draper.
Susan Draper.
Susan is good.
I do like Susan.
Okay.
Although Susan does sound like a man's name.
No, well, you work it. It says she here. So,
Yeah.
so
I guess it's
you'll
fine.
work it out.
Gender doesn't exist, I guess. Susan.
Susan was a photographer.
Cartographer?
Because
they stole her job.
yeah. There we go. Good paragraph.
I don't know about that last sentence.
It's a long sentence.
It is a long sentence.
You wanted long sentences.
People should use paper maps to navigate the world, but now they don't because people are silly and like looking at screens and stuff. You've got two ands.
It's a good argument. Do not. Okay. They do not because people. That's what. No,
Yeah.
that's worse.
That's
do
worse.
not.
Do not. Okay.
Apparently, boozen is the German. Sounds like the German word for a woman's chest, which doubles the gender implications. That would work, but I think doozen sounds sillier. Not that we're going for silly. This is serious. Should there be like a sudden change of pace?
Okay.
In burst 16 police officers.
Oh my goodness. In full riot gear.
Everyone screamed. There were 9 other people, but it didn't explain that. There's we don't know how many other people are in the room. It
Can
doesn't
we?
matter.
Okay.
Everyone screamed. They asked. Oh. Should I do like proper dialogue? Aren't you supposed
If
to
you
like?
can, if you want, I mean.
Where is Boozen? No.
Is
What's
that
another-
someone else in the class?
Yeah.
Oh.
Who else is there in here? What's another name? You're not helping.
Were you just about to write my name because it's the only other name that was around?
Yes.
The only name I thought of was Baxter, but then it sounds like there's a dog.
Maybe they're looking for.
And then my brain went to Baxon.
Officers in unison.
All 16 of them.
We'll say shouted in chorus. Is that how you would say it?
Sure.
Okay, back to the story.
Oh.
What's wrong?
I thought they were gonna hear a woof. From a distant woof. What?
Well,
Oh no!
is that a good sentence?
Sure.
Okay. Apple was asking if we're doing the movie adaptation of The Midway.
Well, we're gonna need to find 16 people.
But this could go some very strange places. I don't know if we'll be able
Yeah.
to get all of the locations. Like, we might end up on the moon.
Who are we casting as Doozen?
Meh.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. I'm not good at. I shouldn't just use said all the time, should I?
No.
Called.
But it
what's
is
the-
okay to use said.
Hmm.
You don't have to have every single one a different one.
I have to do a paragraph after each of them, don't I?
I can't remember the formatting of it. But I'm pretty sure a new speaker needs a new paragraph.
Yeah, I know that, but I wouldn't be able to like continue talking about like this bit, the dog,
No idea.
and Lickily ran towards Doozen.
Lickily.
Should it be Doozen with a Z?
Doozen with a Z. Ooh. And Apple says, I'm gonna correct him. Doozen is always someone different each time we see her. That's like that movie about that guy, that singer.
That singer,
Someone Dylan.
Bob Dylan,
Yeah, that's it.
Bob Geldof. I don't get the reference.
Oh, it's just a quite well done movie about. I'm pretty sure it's Bob Dylan. And they've got a different actor for like each different like stage of his life, which
Oh.
sounds normal. You get
Yeah.
different age actors to portray the different ages, but like hugely different.
Oh.
Like at one point it was a woman, but it was really good.
Hmm.
I had to watch it for film and TV. I have no idea what the movie's called.
Lickily ran towards Doozen. It's great. Mia is wanting to suggest an amendment. That's what everyone's here for.
Yeah, that's what you're here for. I'm Not There is what the movie was called.
Oh.
Whole lot of people in it. Kate Blanchett was the woman that played Bob Dylan.
Okay, Mia has suggested. Where is it? So instead of this sentence, he has suggested. Well, it's two sentences, but that rough area. In burst 16 police officers in full riot gear. Everyone screamed except for Bernard, who, or Bernard or Bernard, who, standing second to the left, only managed to croak as he had come down with a cold this morning, but didn't have the heart to let his friends down by calling in sick. Okay, that's just going to go in. I'm going to copy and paste it. But
Perfect.
you don't have any claim over the rights to this book when it goes.
Perfect.
Yeah. No, I think the proceeds of this book go to the NID.
Yeah. That's gonna fund the knit away.
Yeah. Oh,
what?
I was talking about the NID group, not
Oh.
the NID tubers.
Oh, okay. Right.
I guess it could go to the
It'll-
NID tubers, but that's less of
It'll
a.
pay for servers.
Yeah,
guess.
I mean the only server that we've got is K's, and he's
Oh.
not taking money. Mayor says he's okay with that. Almost everything he says is in the public domain. Am I all right to? I need another character as the teacher, the person doing the teaching. Should pay for servants with the with the amount that it will make. I think the only people that would buy this are us.
Yeah.
No, sorry, it's going to be a New York Times bestseller. So I need to make it okay. Susan roughly scraped her belongings into a childlike bag, and um. What's a name of a grumpy man?
Uh, um.
Who's someone in your life that's a grumpy man? Apple has suggested Pat Cockenball.
I don't know if I know any grumpy men. Peter?
Okay. Peter Cockenballs was the class's teacher. Interrupted. Oh, mere suggestion for a grumpy old man was Boris.
Oh. Fair enough.
Storming. There we go. I'll make this go away. So you are going. Sorry, Doozen. Grumbly yelled. Grum yelled.
What?
That's not going to work.
Grum yelled?
Yeah, grumbly yelled. No, Peter. What's a word for like snapped?
Snapped?
Okay. Um, began crying, but that's okay because nobody liked him. Should I be saying this out loud as I type it?
Yeah.
It's a bit. I get in the zone. And I
Mm-hmm.
just keep typing. You're
Yeah.
playing games over there.
No, I'm not.
You're allowed to play games.
I'm still listening,
Do you
though.
want to tell everyone what game you're playing?
No, it's embarrassing.
She's playing a phone game.
No.
That's fine. I don't think it's embarrassing. I think it's fine. Oh, she's hiding it and giving me a look like I should stop.
No, you can tell everyone about my
I
phone
don't
game.
actually know. All I know is that you are interior decorating rooms. And then people vote on it somehow?
Yeah. Sometimes I win.
Peter began crying, but that's okay because nobody liked him.
Oh, that's so sad.
That's fine. We're never going to mention or see Peter again.
Oh, okay. Great.
down the hallway of hallway towards her office. Did we establish what her job was? She's a cartographer.
Cartographer. Of course.
Was the only cartographer in the company. He wasn't quite sure why what sort of company should it be?
What do you mean?
What sort of company should she work for?
A cartography company.
No,
What are
she's
you
the only
talking-
cartographer in this company.
Ah.
A
Google? No, she doesn't use her phone. I don't know any kinds of companies that would need a cartographer.
no, it doesn't, a foot company. Okay, so what sort of company that has something to do with feet would require an office block? You're just
No, I'm
playing the game.
thinking. No, I'm thinking.
Apple's saying porn.
Aw.
A foot a public relations company for feet
Sounds yuck.
would require a cartographer. He hadn't brought it up with anyone just in case they realized they noticed. I don't know. Wasn't quite sure why a public relations company for feet would require a cartographer, but she hadn't brought it up with anyone just in case they had noticed. Just in case they noticed. That's badly written.
That's fine.
I can write better than this. I don't think I probably can't. I'm lying. That cat is distracting me. I keep looking down there because
Aw,
she wants to
she's
go
so
out, but I
cute.
know as soon as I let her out, you just see like feet under the door.
Yeah.
Go to snap your face.
Oh.
Actually, do you have to if you're like I'm the one streaming? I guess you're on the
Yeah, I
stream.
don't know.
Everyone on the stream. Why not make it a government office for the management of foot and cycle pathways? Okay. A government. Well, actually, a government office for foot and cycle pathways might actually need a cartographer.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
A government office for the management of foot. Well, see here we just call them footpaths. Because you like Americans call them sidewalks. We call them footpaths. You call them pavements.
Hmm.
I don't know what country she's in. I'll just say footpaths would require a cartographer, but she hadn't brought it up with anyone just in case they noticed. In the I was going to say 61, maybe 16. There's a lot of 16s. In the 16 years she had worked at, I'm going to change it so this is the actual name. The government office for the management of footpaths would require a cartographer, but she hadn't brought it up with anyone just in case they noticed. In the 16 years she had worked at the government, this is the way to get the word count up.
Right.
Management footpaths. Had never once done any work All she ever did was draw maps for her own personal use and gossiped with Mark from accounts about what's another boring name? Kelly from what's another job?
Finance.
Accounts and finance, two different departments.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine.
No.
I'm doing that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We smelled like apricots, and neither Susan or Mark liked apricots. They thought they smelled like a combination of musty armpits and integers. Day was different, though, because her dog Baxter was on the run from just police, from the law. Leave him alone because he was a dumb dog. If he wasn't supervised, each. No, that's a bin. Don't get in the bin.
You can get in the bin if she wants.
He would bark at. Oh, Apple's asked for posture check. Why do we let him? He wasn't supervised. He would bark at trees, but those trees were actually police officers in disguise looking for Baxter. For that reason, Susan. I keep putting Z.
It does sound like it should be a Z.
Yeah. That reason, Doozen had no choice but to bring him to work. He had been walking around with Baxter close behind all day, and only 137 people noticed. She told them all that he was her guide dog and that she was recently blinded by by driving too fast. There you go. Nobody believed her, but then she told her. Ah, Word now like makes suggestions saying, "Oh, you can't see that on screen." I'll change the display cap a little bit. Yeah. Says this language may be offensive to your reader, and the suggestion is go away. Very few people in the office liked Susan because he ended most sentences with fuck off. But there was one person who liked her. His name was Steve. I'm gonna say, you know how Steven can be spelled with a PH?
Yeah.
I was gonna make it Steve, but keep the PH in.
Perfect.
But I think it looks a little bit more like Steph.
It does look like Steph.
Most books have like parentheses with like
Yeah,
how to pronounce things.
I think they should, honestly.
There we go. Pronounce
That
Steve.
would get rid of a lot of annoying debates.
Yeah. Liked her. There was one this is Steve N. Aggle. That was this means okay. Peaches. See what this cat is doing. Guess I could put it up. I remember how. You're about to receive a snap, Apple. Oh, now she's just licking her butt.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. Well, all that work was for nothing.
I almost sent that to you instead. Start of habit.
Hmm.
What was she doing?
Oh, she was upside down, scratching beneath the door because she wants to go out. Mia says that it should be Steve, and then in brackets pronounced, "Oh God, my butt has a pimple that's just ready to be licked."
Ew.
His name was Steve, pronounced Steve, and that's where she was headed right now. Now, because we forgot how to get to her office and walked towards his office by mistake. Is that a long enough sentence for you? The whole paragraph.
Oh. Where does it start? Oh my goodness. It is a whole paragraph. Very few people in the office liked Doozen because she ended most sentences with fuck off. But there was, there should be a...
Nope. One sentence because you
Okay.
told me to write long sentences.
Right. But there was one person who liked her... Oh my god. This needs some... But there was one person who liked her. His name was Steve. But that's where she was headed right now because she forgot how to get to her office and walked towards his office by mistake. Now that's a run-on sentence if I've ever read one.
Steve, you fantastic beast. Doozen almost exclaimed.
Almost. So did he not say it, or
No,
just...
no, this is Doozen. Doozen saying that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I forgot that Doozen is a she.
Yeah.
Just almost said it very loudly.
Yeah, it was like between normal and good. Good? Great. Big.
Yeah.
Apple likes your photo, by the way.
Yeah, that's what my phone sees all day while I'm at work. Supposed to be cleaning.
Wonderful to see you, you massive.
What? It's a great book.
I don't know why. I just that's got nothing to do with the sentence. That was just okay. My butt, a pimple, just ready to be licked. There we go. I'll incorporate it that way.
I think one of them. Oh, is this? I think he should tell Doozen that she looks like a pimple that's ready to be.
No, but they like each other.
Oh, okay.
Mia says, "You make me think she didn't manage to exclaim it because she just accidentally snotted all over him in excitement instead." Okay. Oh. You're right. Please let me see the pimple. Susan snotted a little. Absolutely, but we can't do it here. In the hallway where I bumped into you just outside of my office because you came to my office by mistake, like you always do. Almost ran out of breath. Are you playing with the cat?
Yes, I'm keeping her entertained.
I put that up.
Keeps getting her claws stuck.
Oh,
Don't point it at
gone.
me.
That's gone to that made the whole screen black. Didn't want it to be the whole screen.
Oh.
You're a little bit in my camera.
This is the back of my head, though. Oh, she's gone all lazy.
Aw.
Oh, oh. I wobble.
Is this what we're doing now?
I guess so. Oh, oh. Hitting a cat with a blanket.
It's stuck.
Yeah. You're not. There you go. Oh. That's how people write books, right?
Oh. Oh.
Oh.
All right. I'm going to go back to
Yeah.
writing.
Back to book writing.
Oh, I've only got 700 words. I thought we'd have like 10,000 by now. This is going to take years. I was hoping to get it done by next week.
You looked up how long it takes to write a book.
Yeah, and I told you that I was really good at it.
Yeah, no, but how long did that say? It was like 3 months, wasn't it?
Yeah, for 4 months if you do it quickly.
Yeah.
I guess we could just go the end.
Great, done. What a good book.
It says increase the word count by pointing out the soup. The soup? Do we just start talking about soup?
I guess so.
You saucy minx. Is that how people talk to each other?
So is this like a romantic part? Are they flirting?
Yeah, Doozen says like fantastic beast and saucy
Oh,
minx.
right.
And Steve says you massive turd.
Right.
It's flirty.
Okay.
I will. Yeah, Apple has a good point. Turds are filthy. I will.
Flirty. He said
Uh,
flirty, not
Flirty.
filthy.
Oh, well. Okay. You might not be right. I'll show you at lunch. You. I've been. This word's been stuck in my head ever since the other night. When. When was it?
I don't know.
Oh, it was in Bully.
Oh,
Afternoon.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Apple, I've been playing Bully. Dude, I'm gonna play through it. I've been streaming it. Then the first, I was gonna do it tonight, but then I just had the urge to write.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. It is a good game, but I never finished it. I only played it halfway through, so I'm gonna finish it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm running out of ways to say this. Offered. There we go. Apple says he found his PS2 yesterday and it had Bully in the disc tray. Wonder how many years it's been in there.
Yeah. So, are you writing a porno now?
No, this is just like a little office
A little office flirt.
flirtation.
Okay.
Yeah. She's going to go back to her office. She just
Okay,
went the
right.
wrong way by mistake and bumped into the only person in the office that likes her.
Right.
Everyone else doesn't like her. Susan offered a flirtation.
Susan offered a flirtation.
Flirtatious. That's not a good way. Flirtatiously fluttered her. How can I say eyelashes but with an F?
There's no sound in it. What?
Yeah, well, I want to fluttered her fingers. Or Steve. Oh. Mia's offered a suggestion. This is. There we go. Oh, lunch. Have you heard about the attractive choices of soup they're now offering at the company cafeteria? Turds soup. Favorite, says Apple. Susan enthusiastically spat. Was unimpressed. Susan flirtatiously fluttered her fingers towards Steve's. What's another body part that begins with F? Elbows. No.
Feet.
Eats.
Feet?
Eats. And what's a flirtatious walk? Like what's a
Sauntered?
sauntered away again in the wrong direction. She may never make it back to her office at this rate.
Ooh.
Is that funny?
Yeah.
Did a joke. It's a comedy novel. Oh, Pete. See, she's a cartographer, but she doesn't tell directions. It's funny.
Ah, it's so funny.
Yeah. See, once you got it.
Yeah. Once it was explained.
It's just
really funny.
It just has lots of levels to it, so you don't always get it the first time, but once you do, it's good.
I've got the stream up.
Oh.
You just looked very confused at
Yeah,
my
because
screen.
I'm on that screen.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we going to next? It was unpracticed. Is that a word?
Yeah?
Um,
No. There you go.
Mir says suggestion for the future. The lunch handout employee is a diversity hire who was born without their arms.
Oh no.
And Apple wants to know what Mir's favourite soup is, and he has said that his favourite soup is the Oreo cream watered down.
Oh no.
I have a feeling like this book writing is going to be the least popular thing I've ever done.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Until the book is done.
Until it's finished, yeah.
Fortunately, she was unpracticed at sauntering. And control the direction of her walk. This this accidentally pointed her in the direction of her office, and she stumbled through the doorway. As at this point, she realized that Baxter was no longer behind her. You can say, like, she forgot that you can go inside their brains.
Yeah, yeah.
I was trying to work out how to do dialogue. Done too many scripts. Mia wants to know what Apple's favourite soup is.
What's your favourite soup, Boris?
Oh. I don't really...
You don't really like soup.
Yeah, well, it's not that I don't like it. It's I don't respect it. It's a drink. A drink with chunks.
You can make hearty soup.
Yeah. But then that's not soup, I don't think. That's just mushy, liquidy food. I don't know. No, soup's fine. You can get nice tasting soups, but I wouldn't order one. And
no,
whenever it comes out as like an option, like as part of a course or something, I always feel a little bit cheated.
Oh.
Because I know how cheap they are, but how expensive they're sold for.
My favourite soup is vegan corn chowder.
Yeah, that was all right.
Yeah. It's very creamy. Thick. A thick boy.
Apple loves ice cube and ketchup soup.
Yum.
And to panic, what would she do? Only the only dog she's ever known.
Aww. Oh, I think your favourite soup is cereal.
Soup isn't a cereal.
Cereal is a soup. Cold soup. Cold breakfast soup.
Yeah, I guess there's some good cereals. Mia says, if this were a Kickstarter book, one of the reward tiers should be to get their favourite kind of soup to be featured in the company cafeteria's soup buffet bar.
Yes.
Should the person, the lunch handout employee, have to hand out soup by hand, as it were?
They just... Well, they don't have any hands.
Joke. I don't know how you would explain it.
They do it by mouth.
Okay, no, that's a good suggestion. Okay, this person does all of the handing out by mouth and foot. They reach up and use their feet.
I was thinking like they dunk their
Yeah.
like, and then like
Mm.
I was gonna say spit, but not like forcefully spit, just
Yeah,
like
just let it fall out of them.
yeah, into someone's bowl.
Mia says, I imagine them to fill the bowls like a bird would feed their young.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
She's trying to get up on your lap, and I've got a
she's
blanket on her.
got
I'm
like
hot.
little claws on my leg.
Trying to get her on my lap. My lap's not big enough.
Oh,
Slippery.
oh, Mia says to swallow the soup and regurgitate it again.
Oh no.
And down quickly when she remembered it was just a dog and that she didn't actually care that much about dogs.
Aww. Very sad.
No, that's going to be the arc. She's going to learn to love this dog.
Oh, okay.
Either that or I'm going to forget about Baxter right now and it's never going to come up again. That's a possibility. Why is Baxter on the run from the law? Is that going to be explained? At least be curious. About his whereabouts. And out the door.
The Doog.
And screamed. What do you call those cubicle desks? What do you? Okay, I used to work in one. Where they like come up to your chest, so you can see over the office.
Yeah.
Cubicles are, I guess I'll just say the chest high cubicles.
Yeah.
Cubics. Cubicles. She went to the door and screamed across the. Screamed the 4 dogs. Oh, I'm having trouble. Over the chest high cubicles. The only response was 16 again.
No peach.
Shot back in her direction from the disturbed. Are you happy about? Would you read this book? Oh. She's making a bed for Peach.
What was the question?
Do you like this book?
It's I'm having trouble following it.
There we go.
Oh. Beautiful.
I'm assuming he would have sent it to you. I think that should be an emote.
Yeah. Can you screenshot that?
Oh, it's too late.
Oh.
I'm sure he could reproduce it.
You can do another one.
Yeah. he blurted in nobody in particular. Such a good writer.
My dad used to call farts blurts
that's a good. I think that's
because a fart is not a kid's word apparently.
yeah.
Like it's meant.
We didn't say
Like
fart either.
yeah, it's a naughty word.
I don't. Oh,
What?
I don't want to tell you what we had to call them. Well, we didn't have to.
What did
Like-
what did your family? I
So-
think every family has something that they call them
Yeah.
instead of the word fart.
Like we were allowed. Like there was no express rules.
Yeah.
Like there weren't any explicit rules about not swearing.
Yeah.
We just didn't.
Yeah, it was just assumed,
Yeah. And
expected.
so we called farts whoopsies.
Oh.
And I think it was because when one of the kids were like babies.
Mm.
And then it just sort of became a thing, like in the way that words do. It just
Yeah,
seems
it
normal
stuck,
after
yeah.
that. But then to anyone else, it's very strange. So if you're saying like if there's like something she thought,
Murder?
well, no, do I put that in quotations? So if instead of this, it said she thought. Is that how I would structure that?
I'm not sure.
It's
I
been
don't-
so long
yeah, I
since
don't
I've done
remember.
this that I can't remember. I'm gonna do it. I will look.
You could put it in italics rather than in quotation. I don't know if I don't know if that is correct, but
could.
I could imagine it is acceptable.
Oh, you can't Google. You're playing Sudoku.
I can Google.
No, you don't. You don't have to. I will look for him after work. No, I'm gonna structure it differently.
How to format character thoughts. 6 ways
6 ways.
to format internal
You
dialogue.
only need one.
We've got more apple snaps.
Only you get them. Oh no. I don't think we'd be particularly good at like working together in an office. There's so many. Oh no. Oh. No, it's too close for it to focus. Decided she would look for Baxter immediately after lunch. Lunch, a mere 3 hours away. Until then, she was going to continue working on mapping. You want to
all 3 options. Italics, just regular
Mhm.
Dialogue format with or without quotation marks.
Right. And you said 3 options, didn't you?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
with
like
quotation marks
and
without.
italics.
Yeah,
Okay.
or italics.
Yeah.
Okay.
back garden. Back garden, a worked on for the light of her employ. New chapter.
Wow.
Um, 1983.
Oh. Do we know when the other
No.
chapters were set? Okay.
Four nurses
Not 16?
ran into the emergency where 16
Oh.
lay tangled together in a bloody mess. What's another what's a name for a nurse? Should we use normal names?
I don't know.
Okay. Mia has added a suggestion.
Oh.
Disco has just entered its second phase. Yeah, and then we'll just start the next from there.
Mm-hmm.
Heather, is that a good name?
Sure.
The only face in the pile that seemed human.
Oh.
What's something explosive? To
Explosive.
that face. Bernard. Are we going to tell Bernard's backstory? I thought we weren't ever mentioning him again. Oh no, that was Peter.
Who's Bernard? I've forgotten already.
I don't think Bernard is in the story. I think it's a. Oh, here we go. Everyone screamed.
Oh,
Except
that's
for
right.
Bernard.
He was just a sick guy.
To build a homemade bomb. Huddle 16 of us around it, and then detonate. That's how teenagers talk, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Just very factual. The mangled and I probably don't need to say that. Huddle 16 of us around and then detonated. The mangled and unidentifiable teen explained.
Oh no.
I have no idea how we are going to untangle all of you. Heather, the gruffest.
Gruffest?
Is that
Says it's a word.
the gruffest nurse loudly inquired, with the only face in the pile that seemed human. I have no idea how we are going to untangle all of you. So what are the other nurses called?
Blunder.
Glenda. The sexy nurse.
Oh.
Ed. Janice. Janice repeated, because she did not respect Glenda due to her sexiness.
Oh.
And the final one will be called Mildred.
Okay.
We are still alive, asked Mildred, the final nurse who is too dull to, you know. I don't know. I'll
Hi, Danny.
Hi, Bernie. Yeah, I'm writing a novel, Bernie. I guess we should go back for a recap soon before
Soon.
we. Yeah.
Maybe we'll just do it at the end.
But then he won't know what's happening now.
I don't know what's happening now. Like, what happened to Susan?
This is just each chapter is like it's introducing different
Oh, okay.
parts, and they're gonna weave together.
Oh, it's gonna Love Actually.
Love Actually, I don't know what that is.
It's all
I know
different
what it is.
stories, and then
No,
as it goes on.
it's all one story. It's just got
Yeah.
multiple starting points.
Yeah, if you let me finish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like, it follows all different people, and as the stories progress, they all intertwine.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be that.
Oh.
This might just be one chapter, and then we'll go back to Dooz.
And so it has nothing to do with Doozen.
I don't know yet.
Okay. We'll see how it goes.
It says every chapter, an introduction, a background story, and then none of them lead to a resolution. The next chapter will feature the backstory of the nurses.
Yeah.
I'll check. Said the floating the face floating in the goopy pile. Is that how would you spell goopy?
No, that's right. I think it's just not a word.
The face floating in the goopy pile before disappearing underneath the goop. For the next next minute. The next minute, the pile writhed as the formerly clean face searched through the mess of organs and what else is in a body? Bones
Sinew.
and sinew.
No.
Uh,
If you take out that and put a comma, I'll be happy. Not that one. No. Boris.
No, I think
Bones and organs, sinew.
no, it's all hands. But I always do the Oxford comma. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I always have. I think it makes sense.
Yeah. I do and I don't.
Okay, after encountering a little ball of tangled gallbladders, Mia has helpfully suggested, he popped back up at the top of the pile. It seems like there's only one dead person in this pile. Everyone else is in here somewhere.
So, the explosion they made, did it explode them all out? Or did it implode and pull them all in and squish them together somehow? Because that's what it sounds like.
I think it went all over the room and then someone swept them up.
Oh, okay.
No,
Swept them into a pile.
I don't know. We've not seen that bit
Okay.
reported.
The face.
Newly
Oh.
bloodied face man.
Face teen.
Face teen. By the way, what's your name? Asked Glenda.
The good nurse.
I can't remember.
Aww.
Says the face.
Well, I'm gonna call you Facey Boy.
Okay.
No.
Said Glenda. I was changing tense.
Ah.
And Bernie wants says that his primary school teacher wants a word with me. No, I just have a unique and experimental way of writing.
Yeah.
So Bernie wants a more in-depth explanation of exactly what's going on here, rather than just Boris writes a novel.
What more explanation do you need? That's what's going on.
I've decided that I'm going to write the next New York Times bestseller. I'm going to do it on stream. It's definitely something that's going to happen all the time and not be forgotten about after 1 week. So I just read Mia's next comment. I can't remember. Says Carl. Okay, Glenn's a better name. There we go. So, should we read back what we've got so far before we continue? Or do I keep... It's not much.
Okay.
Okay, so first, we've got... I'll expand these out. That's the title page. Not the cover, but when you open the book,
yeah.
The first page. It's yet to be titled, so that's going to be changed. That's kind of wrong because it's got multiple contributors, but I'm going to take all the credit.
Yeah.
And then you can imagine like all the copyright stuff and everything on the next page, and then we get to chapter 1. It was a dark and stormy night in 1901. It was actually a fine day with lots of sun, and it was not 1901. Next chapter. Susan Schraper was a boring woman. She was also a bored woman. Telephones had never interested her as a very smart and intellectual individual. Everyone knows telephones are not for smart people. Only dumb people use phones. Susan was only a little bit dumb, but mostly smart. She had been in this stupid, silly nonsense, farty and a little bit damp work-learning course about how to talk on the telephone. This was Crumby. You can see I add pronunciation guides all the way throughout, just so you know, because she never used her phone in her work. Susan was a cartographer. She hated phones because they stole her job. People should use paper maps to navigate the world, but now they don't because people are silly and like looking at screens and stuff. In burst 16 police officers in full riot gear. Everyone screamed except for Bernard, who, standing second to the left, only managed to croak as he had come down with a cold this morning, but didn't have the heart to let his friends down by calling in sick. "Where is Baxter?" asked the police officers in unison. "There is nobody called Baxter here," replied Doozen. "Our apologies, we shall leave now," the officers shouted in chorus. The police officers left the room. "Woof," said the dog Baxter. Everyone laughed at how stupid the police officers were that they couldn't find Doozen's dog Baxter. "Come on, Baxter," called Doozen. The dog jumped and lickily ran towards Doozen. Doozen roughly scraped her belongings into her childlike bag and grumpily stood up with the heft of 1,000 cows.
I missed that bit. That's a lot of heft.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Oh. She started towards the door when Peter cock and balls. That's not even funny, Apple. She started towards the door when Peter Cockenballs, the class's teacher, interrupted her storming. "Where do you think you are going, Doozen?" Peter snapped. "Fuck off, Peter," Doozen responded before giving him the middle finger and continuing her stormy exit. Peter began crying, but that's okay because nobody liked him. Doozen continued walking down the hallway towards her office. She was the only cartographer in the company. She wasn't quite sure why the government office for the management of footpaths would require a cartographer, but she hadn't brought it up with anyone just in case they noticed. In the 16 years she had worked for the government office for the management of footpaths, she had never once done any work. All she ever did was draw maps for her own personal use and gossiped with Mark from accounts about Kelly from finance. Kelly smelled like apricots, and neither Doozen... I guess that should be Nor. Doozen nor Mark liked apricots. They thought they smelt like a combination of musty armpits and integers. Today was different, though, because her dog Baxter was on the run from the law. She couldn't leave him alone because he was a dumb dog. If he wasn't supervised, he would bark at trees, but those trees were actually police officers in disguise looking for Baxter. For that reason, Doozen had no choice but to bring him to work. Is that asking me to put a comma? Yeah. She had been walking around with Baxter close behind all day, and only 137 people had noticed. My own jokes are making me laugh more than anyone else. She told them all that it was her guide dog, and that she had been recently blinded by driving too fast. Nobody believed her, but then she told them to fuck off. Very few people in the office liked Doozen, because she ended most sentences with fuck off. But there was one person who liked her. His name was Steve. Pronounced Steve, but he's got a PH. And that's where she was headed right now because she forgot how to get to her office and walked towards his office by mistake. "Hi, Steve, you fantastic beast," Doozen almost exclaimed. "Oh, Doozen, how wonderful to see you, you massive turd. My butt has a pimple that's just ready to be licked," Steve definitely exclaimed. "Oh, I'm a lovely turd, you're right. Please let me see your pimple." Doozen snotted a little. "Absolutely, but we can't do it here in the hallway because I bumped into you just outside of my office because you came to my office by mistake like you always do." Steve almost ran out of breath. "I guess you're right, you saucy minx," Doozen sauced. Don't know what that means. "I will show you at lunch, you crafty wench," offered Steve. "Oh, lunch? Have you heard about the attractive choices of soup they're now offering at the company cafeteria?" Doozen enthusiastically spat. Steve was unimpressed. Doozen flirtatiously fluttered her fingers towards Steve's feet and sauntered away again in the wrong direction. She may never make it back to her office at this rate. Unfortunately, she was unpracticed at sauntering and was not able to control the direction of her walk. Thankfully, this accidentally pointed her in the direction of her office, and she stumbled through her doorway. It was at this point she realized that Baxter was no longer behind her. She began to panic. What would she do without the only dog she's ever known? That should definitely have a comma. Not a comma, a question mark. She calmed down quickly when she remembered that it was just a dog and that she didn't actually care that much about dogs. She cared about Baxter just enough to at least be curious about his whereabouts. She leant out the door and screamed the poor dog's name over the chest-high cubicles. The only response was 16 glares shot back in her direction from the disturbed employees. Fuck off, she blurted to nobody in particular. She decided she would look for Baxter immediately after lunch, a mere 3 hours away. Until then, she was going to continue working on mapping her back garden, a project she had worked on continuously for the entire length of her governmental employ. And then we get to chapter 3. This is taking a bit longer than I thought, sorry. I guess this is why we should have done it at the end. The year is 1983. The disco revolution has just entered its second phase. 4 nurses ran into the emergency room where 16 teenagers lay tangled together in a bloody mess. What happened here? Heather, the gruffest nurse, loudly inquired to the only face in the pile that seemed human. We thought it would be a good idea to build a bomb, huddle 16 of us around it, and then detonate it. The mangled, unidentifiable, but blood-free-faced, bloodless-faced teen explained. I have no idea how we are going to untangle all of you, Glenda, the sexy nurse, said. I have no idea how we are going to untangle all of you, Janice repeated because she did not respect Glenda due to her sexiness. How many of you are still alive? Asked Mildred, the final nurse, who was too dull to describe. I don't know. I'll check, said the face floating in the goopy pile before disappearing underneath the goop. There should be another word for goop. What's another word for goop? Under the slop.
Gloop?
Slop.
Slop.
There we go. Minty's here.
Yeah.
What a good time to join. For the next minute, the pile writhed as the formerly clean face searched through the mess of organs, bones, and sinew. After encountering a little ball of tangled gallbladders, he popped back up at the top of the pile. It seems like there's only one dead person in this pile. Everyone else is in here somewhere. Is alive here somewhere. Is alive here? Is alive?
Alive in here.
Alive in here. Reported newly bloodied-faced teen. It's hard to say. By the way, what's your name? Asked Glenda. I can't remember, says Glenn. Okay, says Glenda. Okay, this poor cat, she can't get up. Get up again. Alright, what's going on? I should already give myself an ISBN code. Yeah, hi Minty. We have to start again so that Minty knows where we're up to.
And Bernie pointed out that it's just Pravisham's True Stories, the novel.
No, this has a plot.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. You've not seen it? Oh, Minty's mother-in-law's name is Glenda. Was she a sexy nurse?
Oh.
Oh, I'm getting sweaty.
Or was
It's
she
hot
a
in here.
good witch?
Good witch? Oh, was that
That's...
Mears?
No,
No.
that's from The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Mears. The only witch I know is Mears.
His aunt.
His aunt. And Minty's brother-in-law's name is Glenn. Okay, now I've lost my train of thought
Oh no.
about this story.
Yeah, we should have done the recap at the end of a chapter.
Yeah, just at the end.
Yeah.
But now Bernie can follow along with the story, make suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the nurses rushed to the tools closet and returned with their scooping shovels. They scooped for 16 minutes, taking care to not separate the gloop and accidentally kill a teenager. Mia votes to use ice cream scoopers instead. No, they've got to keep all of it together. So they've got to like scoop and pull it up. And
Because
there's, like,
all 16 are one now.
yeah, and so it's like arms and like bits of limbs sticking out of the scoop and
Yeah.
like intestines everywhere, and they've got to unravel all of it and put them all back together into people.
Okay.
But if they like pull apart and separate it, they might like separate multiple people.
Yeah.
So they can't have been exploded across the room and scooped back
No.
together.
They've been imploded.
They've exploded and jumbled.
Yeah.
Okay, Peach, this happens every time I let you up. You're just pressing buttons.
Pressing buttons.
You're gonna
She's
sit.
gonna sit on the keyboard.
This is why every time we stream, I have to stop to deal with you.
What's she pressing?
Spacebar. It's way off in the distance now. Bernie says, "You want my suggestion? Either rip out the drive that this is saved on and burn it, or self-publish and submit it for consideration for various prizes." I'm going to do the same. I'm not going to have to self-publish. People are going to...
Yeah, we're going to submit it to all the best publishers around the world.
And the first, we'll only have to submit to one. First one will take it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a bird flying past and Peach is concerned. All right. You're going to have to move. Squish.
Oh, she didn't like that.
All right. Oh, that's not what I meant. Don't go... No. Oh, Peach, you're going to break things. Okay. Now this...
Yeah, there's cat hair everywhere.
We're going to get back in the situation of my face being covered in cat hair. Oh, I just...
Alright, we need to get back to writing.
Get back. Yeah, I've been a bit slack the last half an hour. It's 10 o'clock. It's bedtime already.
Yeah.
It started a bit late, so we'll go for another little bit. If all else fails, you could still send it to J.K. Rowling and let her publish this as another Harry Potter spin-off.
Ooh.
To gloop and accidentally kill a teenager. Ow, that hurts. Emerged from the pile. You should have thought about that before you blew yourself up. Up, you nonsense piece of trash. Retorted. Who was the first one? Heather. Heather, the gruff one.
Yeah, the gruffest nurse.
Oh, that hurt. Emerged another voice. They can still talk, apparently. In came Doctor. What's a good doctor name?
Martin. No.
In came Doctor.
No.
No, Martin. His first and last name is Martin.
Right.
Oh, my face has been covered in cat hair again. Every time.
Mm-hmm.
Probably shouldn't rub my face on it.
No. It can't help.
Okay, I'll be back. This is too much.
Okay. So what do we think of the book? And yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure she's been cancelled. For being transphobic, I think? I don't know.
Bernie not like it. Thinking Dr. Martin. Hi. I'm Dr. Do I spell out doctor? Or do I... And then do I capitalize it then? Or do I just go doctor? I'm just going to go doctor.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Martin.
Did he say that?
Yeah,
Excellent.
said Dr. Martin Martin. Hi, Dr. Martin Martin, said the nurses, except for Mildred, who wasn't listening.
Mm.
Hi, Mildred. I noticed you weren't listening, said Dr. Martin Martin. Oh, hi, Dr. Martin Martin. I sure wasn't. I'm very,
I almost turned your computer off by accident.
very sorry about that. Very close to the bottom. Dr. No, we're doing that. Martin Martin. Oh, hi, Dr. Martin Martin. I sure wasn't. I'm very sorry about that, Dr. Martin Martin. I will make it up to you at tomorrow's softball game. Mildred. Finally, Mildred said, finally acknowledging Dr. Martin Martin. So, Apple. So Apple left for 5 minutes and is asking who Dr. Martin Martin is. Bernie has been here the whole time and he's still asking who Dr. Martin Martin is. So this is all
He
we
just
know.
turned up.
Yeah, he just turned up, so this is all we know. In came Dr. Martin Martin. Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Martin, said Dr. Martin Martin. Hi, Dr. Martin Martin, said the nurses, except for Mildred, who wasn't listening. Hi, Mildred, I noticed you weren't listening.
I noticed you wasn't listening.
You weren't listening, said Dr. Martin Martin. Oh, hi, Dr. Martin Martin, I sure wasn't. I'm very sorry about that, Dr. Martin Martin. I will make it up to you at tomorrow's softball game, Mildred said, finally acknowledging Dr. Martin Martin.
Great.
Dr. Martin Martin. Oh yeah, we'll hire Martin Clunes to play this part. Do you think we can afford him?
Yeah.
Barged in to his rightful place in front of the nurses. Barged into his rightful place in front of them. And don't worry about the grammar. The grammar is part of it. It's part of my genius experimental nature of writing. Minty has suggested that his middle name should also be Martin, but spelt with a Y.
And Bernie, Boris just asked what should the doctor's name be, and Martin was the first name that came to my head.
Yep.
But then I realized that that's a shoe.
Oh.
That's why I was saying no, not Martin. But Boris was like, yes, Dr. Martin Martin.
I didn't even. In front of the nurses, and I'm going to have to work in some way about the middle name Martin.
It's not going to happen organically.
Mia has asked you, you know a shoe called Martin?
No, Doc Martens.
Yeah, it took me a
are a
second
kind of
to,
shoe.
it took me a second to work it out in front of the nurses and exclaimed, I'm in front. I'm in front. The big doctor. Oh, I almost did dicta. Big doctor, my studies were worth it. Just to untangle these poor kids. That sentence makes no sense. Yeah, absolutely was. Heather said with an amount of sarcasm was disgusting. Dr. Martin didn't pick up on the sarcasm and found that arousing.
What?
Time to untangle these kids. He proclaimed then dipping his hands in the gloop. And how would I describe this? That's what he's doing in the gloop.
Ah,
Gloop and frantically
finessed the intestines apart.
missed
I
the
don't know.
fingers. No, I just want more F's.
Yeah.
Finessed
The fragments.
the fragments of. There's really nothing else in the body that starts with F other than fingers and feet. Fibers,
Yeah?
the bodily fibers.
Well, that breaks up the F.
Okay. Well, fibers doesn't make as much sense if you don't. Frantically finesse the fragments of bodily fibers.
I guess that's alright.
Yeah. There, a child. Dr. Martin. What's another word for, like, I keep using exclaimed over and over because everyone just exclaims, shouted, screamed, bellowed as he yanked is a good word.
Yeah.
As he belched.
Not quite, right?
Bellowed as he yanked a creature. No, that's wrong. A writhing
Keen.
pile out of the gloop. Okay, so
Ah.
Um, into one that is shaped a peacock.
What?
The
Oh,
old
put it back. That's parts of 6 different children mashed into one that is shaped like a peacock.
old, and I've forgotten Janus.
Janice?
It is a child. Belched. Dr. Martin. um, Bernie wants the pile to be called Bernie because he just wants to scree right now. It is a child, belched Dr. Martin before. Whipping his gloves off, throwing them in the direction of a bin. And okay, how would you describe someone that like walks confidently away as if they've done a good job? Sure.
Trot? Or walked confidently?
Strutted back out the door. What do I do from here? The new writhing pile looked pained. Nobody is sure how they knew that, but they just knew. We shall call this new child Bernie, said. What's the other? Gotta make sure everyone gets enough lines. Mildred, Glenda, Janice, Heather. I think Heather is the most dominant of the group.
Mm-hmm.
We shall call this new child Bernie, said Heather. We should put it back and try assembling them ourselves. Dr. Martin doesn't know what he's doing.
Ooh.
What's snapped? What's a... Oh my god, a word for snapped.
Is snapped not good?
I guess it'll do. Denise. How dare you? I'm not good at this, describing different ways people talk. Blurted. Heather. Martin is the finest reassembler in the world. growled is better. That's Bernie's suggestion. Finest reassembler in the world. Nobody could have done a better job. I think you say that because you slept with him 16 nights ago at the
Weirdly specific.
at the Easter party, at the work Easter party. Everyone has a work Easter party, right?
Yeah.
And I'll say blurted. How dare you? I did no such thing. I'll say retorted again. Heather. Hang on. You slept with him too? Said, who's the other one? Blender.
Wait, is she asking?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he only slept with me,
Rough.
said Mildred. I'm sorry, this has gone. Is this too silly?
No.
Mhm.
Perfectly fine.
Lyric has just been playing Sudoku.
Yeah, I got back into it, and now I can't stop.
Well, I slept with him first. I don't know how to. I keep running out of these words. I'm just gonna say said. Said. So
Well,
you did.
Glenda's one you can change to asked.
What about this one? Inquired. What's other words for asked? Queried. Inquired. I've never heard of that word.
Mm.
I'm gonna add that in instead.
Okay.
Well, I slept with him first, said Heather. So you did sleep with him. Janice. Looked there's a word, it's not proud, smug. Bernie's asking if you've seen the true stories.
Yeah.
Oh wait, read. I've written 1,600 words.
Oh.
It's a bit far off the 10,000 I was aiming for tonight, but no, said Heather. That's not right. You are a shit liar. looked even smugger.
More smug.
Looked more smugger.
Right.
Oh, Apple's saying I can't sleep until I get to 10,000.
Oh no. That, like,
In a place like this, you do not deserve this pile of goop. Heather looked furious.
why does anyone deserve a pile of goop?
Get out
Why
of
is that
here.
something anyone wants?
Jerry's. Jeez. Get out of here. Third. Peace. Heather. Now. What's another word of. Another word for infuriated?
This is a lot of dialogue.
Yeah, well, it's complex.
Okay.
Like me.
Yep.
Now enraged. Yanked niece's shovel out of her hand and combined with the shovel she already had, she swung a shovel in each hand and chopped up the goop into tiny pieces that flung all over the emergency room. That's one sentence. I'm not rewriting it, it's perfect.
Yeah.
The other three nurses were horrified as they witnessed Armand's. I'm gonna go slap. As they witnessed parts of 16. Woo-woo. That's not going to make sense in the sentence. That's not going to make sense in the YouTube video, and I'm not going to explain it. The other three nurses were horrified as they witnessed parts of 16 teenagers splattered against the ceiling and walls. Mildred hurriedly dragged the pile now known as Bernie out of the room to keep it safe. What's the... Do you open that up?
Yeah, do you want... Here, I don't know if my chair is in the way for you to see.
Oh. I guess I could do that because this new Bernie character is a little bit like messed up. Armand just said, "What on earth?" I don't think we have time to reread it.
Oh, I just closed Twitch.
There's all these pages of this book, Armand. We've just started.
Yeah, how many words are you up to?
1734.
Yeah.
Out of the room to keep it safe. You worry, Bernie. I will give you a safe home and look after you.
Oh, don't worry,
Sorry about
Almond. None of it makes sense.
Mildred assured the now weeping. I'll just say the weeping pile.
Gross.
The weeping. I'm kind of regretting calling it a peacock-shaped pile. I think it. What should it be shaped like? Like a bear. That's a good idea. A Bernie bear. Armin says it is like one of those stories written by an AI.
A very dumb AI.
Excuse me. What writer? Safe home and look after you forever, Mildred assured the weeping pile. Replied the pile. There we go. Are you happy with that? That's the end of that chapter.
Great.
Now we're up to chapter 4, but I guess we should probably end the stream. It's getting a bit late. Oh yeah, there is Comic Sans in this, Armand. Just the chapter headings. The rest of it's in a sensible Times New Roman, and the title page is in curls. The title is to but we'll decide that when we get to the end of the book. Although maybe the twist will be we'll get to the end and find out it's all about Boris's book after all, and that should be the title.
Wow.
Armin says, "Oh God, not curls."
Why does like every town have a cafe that does their menu in curls?
Yeah, I'm surprised that one of the cafe that's one of my clients doesn't do that. This has nothing to do with Pravisham's true stories. This has a plot. This is a novel. It's a genuine work of art, and it's going to sell lots, and all of the money will be used for the nib. Okay, let's. You want to go to bed?
I'm pretty tired.
Yeah,
And I don't want to sit in this chair anymore.
Yeah, I'm starting to write badly.
Oh, starting to.
I think I should end because I'm running out of good ideas.
Right.
Now it's just the bad ideas.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you everyone for watching. I'm gonna try and write whatever. We almost got to 1,800 words. I reckon we could do 1,800 words a week. Maybe 2,000 words a week. We'll set that goal.
Wow.
And then we'll be finished it in a 6 years.
Great.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.